Welcome back, student. Today we are going to start a new physics chapter. It's a chapter number 14 according to your NCERT book. Name of your chapter is Chemical Effect of Electric Current. So in class 7th, we have discussed few other effect of your electricity. Those were your heating and magnetic effect. But this part, that chemical effect, is so broad that we need to study it in different chapter only. Okay, so it's a part. It's a it's a part which is continued from your class 7. Okay, so it's a step up part of your class 7 chapter in which we have discussed few effect of electricity. So I hope you have the base of this chapter. Okay, I hope you know what electricity is. So when a circuit is completed, when electricity is flowing in that circuit, few other things happen in that circuit, and those things is nothing but the effect of that electric current only. Okay, two effects we have studied in your class 7. Those were your heating effect of electricity, in which heating is produced when current passes through any circuit, and second one is your magnetic effect, in which when we place any magnetic material or when we place any metal inside near your electric circuit, then it will possess the magnetic effect. Okay, that's how we make the electromagnets, right? We have discussed these two things in class 7. In your class 8, we are going to discuss the third effect of electricity, which is chemical effect. Okay, in this chapter I hope you know what are chemical changes. This part also was there in your class 7 and 6 also. What are chemical changes? Before starting of this chapter, you must be aware of all the chemical changes. Chemical changes, the change which is from inside of any material. Okay, the change which happen throughout the material, when anything change completely into different thing, that such kind of changes chemical change. Okay, now let's read out the chapter. We have learned earlier that material which allow electric current to pass through them are known as good conductor of electricity. Okay, on the other hand, material which do not allow electric current to pass through them are known as poor conductor of electricity, right? Previously, you know the two terms when we categorize material into two categories on the criteria of their conduction. So we can categorize them into conductor and insulator. But now we are referring them as good conductor and poor conductor, because actually everything for conduction, everything requires the ions or the material or the carriers. Okay, carriers are present in each and everything, but the number of carriers may vary. It can be that few carrier, and sometimes it can carry more carrier. For example, distilled water is poor conductor of electricity. The purest distilled water cannot conduct electricity. Why? Because the distilled water is not having any ions. But when we dissolve ions, okay, when we dissolve minerals, when we dissolve salt in that, those ions will behave as carriers. They can carry out that electricity. They can carry out this electricity, and they can transport that electricity from one point to another. So that's what we need for electricity to pass. This is the base of this chapter. For electricity, we need carrier. Okay, those carrier will carry what they carry for electricity, electrons. They carry electrons from one part to another part. Okay, and when we provide the carrier, what we are doing? We are providing the poles. Okay, what we are doing? We are creating the potential difference. That potential difference is needed for electricity to pass. Okay, that's what we are going to learn in this chapter. Okay, now that's why we are referring poor conductor, as we cannot say that water is insulator or conductor. But water is good conductor of electricity when it is having ions. But when ions are absent in that water, for example distilled water, now we cannot say that it is insulator or conductor. Now it's a poor conductor of electricity. Got it? Same thing happens with air also. When ions are there in the air, then we can say that when we provide the ions in the air, though air is poor conductor of electricity, but when we provide enough ions, it can conduct electricity. Okay, got it? Now in class 6 you are aware of the tester. Okay, we made a tester to test whether a particular material allow the electric current to pass through it or not. Okay, I hope you recall that. Now we found out that metals such as copper, aluminium, they conduct the electricity very well. That's why we categorize them as conductor. And non-metals cannot conduct electricity. That's why we call them that poor conductor or insulator. Which the things which cannot conduct electricity at all are your insulator. The things which can conduct electricity, sometime and other time it cannot conduct electricity because of presence and absence of ions. Such things are known as poor conductor or good conductor. Liquids and your gases can be categorized as good conductor or poor conductor, but solids are always insulator or conductor. Keep this in your mind. Okay, because we can add ions to your gas, we can add ions to your liquid, but we cannot add ions to your solids. So solids are categorized as conductor and insulator, but liquid and gases can be good conductor or poor conductor. Okay, now let's move forward. So it's nothing but your that previous chapter. Yeah. Do liquids conduct electricity? So let's go through that. Let us find out answer of this question. To test whether liquid allow electric current to pass through it or not, we can use the same tester. We can use same tester as we have used in our 6th class. Okay? The normal tester which is present inside your home, right? Now, however, replace the cell by battery. Now, this time we need battery. Why? Why we cannot test the electricity in liquid with the help of cell? Also, before using tester, we should check whether it is working or not. This is very that common, very understood precaution which you have to take. You have to firstly, before using it for experiment, you have to check whether your tester is working or not. But the first point is important. You should know. You should always use battery. You should never use cell in case of liquid to test the conductivity of your liquid. Why is it so? We are going to find out this very soon. So in this activity, what you have to do? Join the free end of your tester together for a moment. This complete the circuit of the tester and the bulb should glow. When the bulb glows, it means the circuit is complete and electricity will flow. However, if the bulb does not glow, it means tester is not working. Okay? Can you think of any possible reason? Is it possible for the connection are loose? You know that when the circuit is in the reason behind circuit incompletion is wires are loose, bulb is not working, filament of the bulb is broken down, connection there is that error in the connection, like positive is connected to positive terminal only. All these things you should check before attempting this experiment. Okay? Or cells are used up. Maybe cells are used up. The cells which we are using for this experiment, maybe they are used up. Check that all connections. So you have to check all your connection before this experiment. You have to check whether your cell is working or not. Okay? With another bulb. Now test if the tester is working or not. If it is still not working, replace the cell with fresh cells. Okay? Always use fresh cell. Now that our tester is working, let us use it to test various liquid. You have to test the conductivity in the various liquid. If your tester is working, first of all we have checked whether our tester is working or not. Now we have to check the conductivity of few liquids. Okay? Collect small plastic or rubber cap of discard bottle and clean them. Pour 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and vinegar in another cap. Okay, we are going to test the conductivity of vinegar and lemon juice. Bring your tester over this cap and let the end of the tester dip in the lemon juice. Okay, and the vinegar. Take care of end are not more than 1 centimeter apart, but at the same time do not touch each other. Okay, you have to check all the connections. You know that. Does the bulb glow? This is the whole setup. You have to test whether the bulb of the tester is glowing or it's not glowing. Does lemon juice or vinegar conduct electricity? How would you classify lemon juice and vinegar as a poor conductor or good conductor? You have to test it by yourself. So this is the whole setup. This is the lemon juice which we are going to test, the conductivity of which we are going to test. These are the terminals, okay. This is the tester and this is the cell or battery, not cell but battery. I hope you remember longer part, positive current, shorter part, negative current or negative terminal, we can say that. So negative is attached to positive, okay. Now this smaller negative is attached to positive. Connection are appropriate. So we have to test whether the bulb is glowing or not, okay. When the liquid between two ends of the tester allow the electric current to pass. When this liquid allow the electricity to pass through these two terminals, the circuit of the tester become complete. The circuit of the tester, the current flow in the circuit and the bulb will glow. If this liquid allow electrons, if it allow electricity to pass through it, it means we can say that this liquid is good conductor of electricity. The current flow, when liquid does not allow the electric current to pass through it, the circuit of the tester will not complete and bulb will not glow. Okay. In some situation, even though the liquid is conducting, but bulb may not glow. Again I am repeating, in some situation the liquid is conducting but still your bulb will not glow. Why? It may happen in activity 14.2 also. What can be the reason? You have to give a thought on this. Everything is fine, connections are fine, everything is working, and your liquid is also conductor. It is conducting the electricity, but bulb will not glow. What could be the possible reason for this? Now let us study to know the answer. Do you remember why bulb glow when electric current pass through it? You remember? Because it allow because when anything is good conductor or conductor, it will allow all the electron to pass through them. It will not give the resistance. I hope you remember the term resistance. It will not provide the resistance and it will allow everything to pass through them. For example, you are standing here. If you allow something, for example, you are not able to do that, I know. Suppose there is air is present everywhere and air is allowing the bulb to pass through it, right? Because it is not giving resistance to that bulb. In the same way, when electricity is flowing and if we place anything in between that, if that thing allow electricity to pass through that, then we call that thing as conductor. But if it will provide the resistance, it will not allow that electricity to pass through them, it is known as insulator. Basic concept which you are having since class 6. Okay. So when the electric current pass through it, due to heating effect of current, the filament of bulb get heated up to very high temperature and it start growing. I hope you remember that. However, if the current through the circuit is too weak, the filament will not get heated up. This is the answer. Some liquids, though they can conduct electricity, but that electricity is not enough that it can glow the bulb of your tester. Electricity is there, but it is not high enough that it can cause the filament to glow. This is the reason that despite of everything is fine, your connections are fine, still your the bulb of the filament is not glowing. The reason is because current is not enough. Current is producing, but it is not enough that it can make your bulb glow. This is the reason. Current is circuit is too weak. Okay, filament will not grow, will not get heated up accurately, sufficiently, and it will not grow. Okay, glow. And why is the current in the circuit weak? Why is it weak? Answer is, as we have discussed previously, as I have told you few minutes ago, because this liquid is having carrier, but only few carriers are there. You can compare two liquid. One liquid is having 100 of carrier. What will it do? It can immediately current will carrier will collect the current from previous carrier and it can flow very accurately. But if your liquid is having only 2 or 3 carrier, what will happen? It will take time to reach from one point to another. Okay, so this is the whole scene. The liquid which is having more carrier will that allow the current to move more accurately. It will produce more current. But if few carriers are there, then it will not allow the current to move freely. So poor current will be there in case of the liquid which is having few carrier. Okay. Now and why is the current in the circuit weak? I have told you. Okay. When though a material may conduct electricity, it may not conduct it as easily as metals. Okay. As a result, the circuit of the tester may be completed, yet the current through it may be too weak to make the bulb glow. Only few carrier is there in case of such scene. Okay. Can we make another tester which can detect such weak current? But how will we test the accurately whether the liquid is having current or not? Tester will not work because tester will test the high current only. But what will be the scene with your liquid which are having weak current? So we need new kind of tester. So we can use another effect of electric current to make another kind of test. Now we will be needing new kind of tester. Do you recall that electric current produce magnetic effect? Previously the tester was using your heating effect. Now this tester will use your magnetic effect. Okay. What happened to the compass needle kept nearby when current flow in a wire? Even if current is small, the deflection will be there. Even if current is that very weak, still it will deflect. It will be enough for deflection of your needle. Okay. So deflection will be there. So it can act as your tester, right? Can we make a tester using magnetic effect of current? Yes, we can. So for that, we will be doing a activity 14.3. Okay. So take a tray. From inside our discarded matchbox, we can use matchbox tray also. Wrap an electric wire a few times in the tray. Place a small compass needle inside it. Now connect free end of wire to the terminal of the battery. Leave another end free. Take another piece of wire and connect it to the terminal of the battery. Normal circuit which we have been studying since class 6. So this is the tray of your matchstick. We wrap the wire, then we connect the whole thing in that battery and everything, and now this will act as your tester. We can place anything which we want to test here by joining the terminal, and if the deflection is present in this compass, then we can say that particular liquid is having that conduction. It's though poor, but still it is conductor. Okay. We are using this tester to test the presence of current in poor conductor. In case of good conductor, we can use convenient the old tester which we are having. But this kind of the tester are needed in case when the liquid is showing low current, weak current. Okay. Now repeat the same activity. 14.2. Using this tester, do you find out deflection in that liquid? Compass needle after dipping it for few minutes, if deflection is there, then we can say that this liquid is poor conductor of electricity. Conduction is there, electricity is there, but poor electric current. Okay. Now take out end of the tester from lemon juice, dip it in water and then wipe it. You have to wipe, otherwise it will show false result also. Okay. Then wipe, then with dry, repeat the activity with other liquid such as tap water, vegetable oil, milk, honey. Okay. Every time when you are placing the whole setup, when you are when you are placing new liquid, you have to wash the terminal and wipe it properly so that it will not give false result. Okay. Each time you have to observe whether the magnetic needle show deflection or not, and you have to record your observation. Before moving forward, let's talk about LED also. You all are aware of LEDs. Full form of LED is light emitting diode. Now what is the thing? Diode, because two wires are there. Di means two wires are there. Okay. So diodes are the equipment which is having two wires. Okay. It can act as your tester. So you use an LED in place of electric bulb in a tester. If you replace the bulb with this LED glow even when weak electric current flow through it. They can detect the weaker current also. That's why nowadays we are using LED, because they will take up that minimum current as compared to your convenient electric bulb. Your convenient bulb. So nowadays we use LED. There are two wires. That's why they are known as diode. Okay, they are known as leads. One end is slightly longer. It's very visible. Okay, one end is slightly longer than other. The longer part again is positive terminal and shorter part is your negative terminal. Okay, I hope you can relate this thing with your circuit diagram. We draw longer line to represent positive terminal and shorter line to represent negative terminal. Same thing with this. Okay, so nowadays we use LED which can detect even slightest weakest current also. Okay, they are better tester for your poor conductors. Now let us move forward. So you have to fill this by yourself. You can take any material, any liquid material which you want to take. Okay, from table 14.1 we find out some liquid are good conductor of electricity and some are poor conductor. So only these categories are there in case of liquid and gas also. Okay, I am just adding gas because gas can flow. In this chapter we are talking about good conductor and bad conductor only. Good conductor and bad conductor only because we are testing the conduction of liquid and gases only which can flow. Solid cannot flow. They are either conductor or insulator. But in case of your liquid and your gases, they have carrier. If few carriers are there, then they are known as poor conductor. I am giving you base. You have to relate this thing. And if anything is having more carrier, it can conduct more. It can conduct the electricity more efficiently. That thing will be your good conductor. Okay. Now let's move forward. When free end of tester do not touch each other, there is an air gap between them. Paheli knows that air is a poor conductor of electricity. As you know that air is a poor conductor of electricity, but she also read that during lightning, electric current pass through the air. How does it happen? Air is a poor conductor of electricity, but it shows lightning. She wonders if air is indeed a poor conductor under all the conditions. How it conducts that electricity during lightning. This makes Bujo ask whether other materials classified as poor conductor also allow electricity to pass under the certain condition. And I have given you this idea. All the liquid, all the fluid can show conductivity under certain condition when we provide enough ions to them. Okay, so as I have given you example of distilled water. Distilled water do not show conductivity because it is not having any kind of ions. So no matter how much electricity you will give to distilled water, it will not pass it. It's a poor conductor. Okay, but when you dissolve a salt, it will show conductivity because the particles of the salt, it will dissociate itself. It will break down, and those other particles will act as carriers, and they will carry the current from one part to another part. Now your poor conductor distilled water get converted into good conductor. Okay, so we can add ions to make the poor conductor to good conductor. In the same case, we can add ions during lightning. What happens? One cloud get rubbed with another cloud, and it will form the ions, positive and negative charge. It will create the charge. Those charge will act as ions, and it will help to produce lightning. Okay, what we are doing? We are providing the ions. We are providing the carriers. That's why lightning is there, even though your air is poor conductor of electricity. Okay. Actually, under certain condition, most material can conduct. But keep this in your mind. We are talking about fluids only. That is why it is preferred to classify material as good conductor and poor conductor, not insulator and conductor. Good conductor and your poor conductor. Okay. Now, because you are in 8th class, now you should know. We should always classify material as good conductor and poor conductor. We can do same thing with solid also, because solid can melt. But it's not that common. You will be reading about this in your higher classes. Okay. Now we have tested conduction of electricity through tap water. Let us now test the conduction of electricity through distilled water. Though we have discussed this thing, now let us do activity also to prove that thing. Now take about 2 tablespoons of distilled water in a clean and dry plastic or a rubber cap in a bottle. Use the tester. You can use a magnetic tester, or you can use LED also. Okay. Use the tester to test whether your distilled water can conduct electricity or not. That result will be no, it cannot, because it is not having ions. And when you add that ions in form of salt, for example, in case of tap water can conduct the electricity, because tap water is having salt, dissolved salts. Okay. Even the water which you are drinking. That's why the distilled water is not at all good for your health. If you drink distilled water, the water which is not having any dissolved ions, it is not at all beneficial for you. You cannot consume the distilled water. It harms your body. That's why we need the water in which salts are dissolved. Okay. Now, the water that we get from sources such as tap, hand pump, well and ponds, they are not pure. Here purity means something is dissolved in that. Okay, according to science, anything is pure when no solute is there in the solvent. But all those things carry solute in form of salt or minerals. That's why they are not pure according to science. Okay, not according to your convenient English. In science, pure and that thing which is pure means the solvent is not having any kind of solute. Okay, it may contain several salt dissolved in it. Small amount of mineral salt are naturally present in the water. That's why water, naturally when we say water, then we always say that water is good conductor of electricity, because natural water is having dissolved salt in it. Okay. Now this water is just good conductor of electricity. On the other hand, distilled water, which is free from all the salt, is poor conductor of electricity. Okay. So as I have told you previously, small amount of mineral salt is always present in water, which is beneficial for your health.